Hello everyone. Welcome back to TingTink channel. Today is a special episode because we are not just learning English. We are going to talk about strength. Not muscle, but the strength inside your mind. Life is always hard. Pressure, failure, rejection. Everyone faces them. Most people break. But the mental geniuses are different. They stand up again. Why? Because they train their thoughts, not just their skills. And the amazing part is, when you learn these mental habits, you will also improve your English, step by step, clearly and easily. So today, I will share with you 10 habits that will help you stay calm in chaos, strong when you feel weak, and unshakable in life. Be honest for a moment. When you feel pain, what do? Do you run away? Do you pretend you're fine? Or do you turn that pain into fuel to make yourself stronger? Most people choose to run. When they fail, they quit. When they're rejected, they close their hearts. When they're lonely, they bury themselves in their phones, movies, or endless scrolling. But mental geniuses are different. They look straight at pain and ask, "What is this pain teaching me?" And this is the habit I want you to practice. Turn pain into power. Remember Nelson Mandela, 27 years in a South African prison, 27 years losing his youth, his freedom, his family. Most of us would break down after just a few months. But Mandela turned each day behind bars into a lesson in patience, an exercise in forgiveness, and a brutal training for his willpower. And when he walked out, he didn't carry bitterness. He carried the strength to lead an entire nation. This teaches us that strength does not come from avoiding pain, but from turning pain into a teacher. Now let's come back to you. When was the last time you were hurt? Maybe it was a failed exam. Maybe it was a dream left unfinished. Maybe it was someone who hurt you. You have two choices. Let the pain swallow you, or turn it into a mental gym, where every wound becomes an exercise for strength. Here's how to practice it. Step 1. Write it down. Name the pain. When it has a name, it loses some of its power. Step 2. Ask, what is it teaching me? Rejected? It teaches you to prepare better. Fail? It teaches you to find another way. Step 3. Turn it into a small action. One real step you can take right now. Maybe you've felt discouraged many times. Listening and still not understanding. Speaking and still not fluent. But instead of letting the frustration crush you, see it as a signal. This is exactly the area I need to practice more. Every mistake is a step up the ladder. Today's exercise. Within the next 24 hours, write down one recent pain. Then write, "This taught me." And finally, the small action I will take is, keep that paper. A month later, you will be amazed to see that the very pain which once made you cry has become the source of your new strength. The next habit is this. Focus on what you can control. There's a harsh truth. Most of us waste our lives trying to control what we cannot. The weather, the economy, other people's opinions. And while we drain ourselves on those things, our mind collapses. But strong minds are different. They focus only on what is in their control. Their thoughts, their actions, their daily habits. Remember Viktor Frankl, a Jewish psychiatrist imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps. He lost his family, his freedom, his future. But he wrote in his book Man's Search for Meaning, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the freedom to choose how he responds. That is the peak of mental strength. Now imagine the world as two circles. Circle 1. Things I can control. Example: how much I study, how I respond, the attitude I choose. Circle 2. Things I cannot control. Example: what people think, the news, sudden changes. Weak people let 90% of their energy fall into Circle 2. Strong people put 90% of their energy into Circle 1. You can't control how fast a native speaker talks, but you can control replaying a segment every day. You can't control if someone laughs when you make a mistake, but you can control speaking louder and continuing. Practice this small step today. Draw two circles. The inner circle, things you control. The outer circle, things you don't. Every time you feel stressed, look at it and ask, which circle am I putting my energy into? If it's the outer one, pull yourself back into the inner one. Mental strength is not about controlling the world. It's about controlling yourself. When you focus on what you can control, you will feel lighter, calmer, and slowly, no storm will be able to knock you down. Habit 3 is this: discipline over motivation. How many times have you waited for inspiration to study? You think, I'm tired today, I'll study tomorrow. You wait until you feel motivated, feel inspired. But the truth is, motivation is like a child. It comes and goes, unpredictable. Discipline, however, is like an adult. It's stable. It keeps its promises even when feelings walk away. Think of Maya Angelou, one of the greatest writers of the 20th century. She didn't wait for inspiration. She sat down to write at the same time every day, even when the words didn't come. When asked her secret, she said, "You can't wait for inspiration. You have to chase it with a pen in your hand." That's the difference. Ordinary people live by feelings. Strong people live by discipline. You can wait for the right mood to study, but if you only study when you feel like it, you'll never go far. Discipline means, whether you're happy or sad, tired or energetic, you still sit down, open your book, play the video, and practice. A little every day, consistently. Exercise for this habit. Step 1. Pick one small English habit. Example: record 2 sentences every night. Step 2. Do it at the same hour every day. No excuses. Step 3. Mark it on your calendar. Don't break the chain. Remember, motivation gets you started. Discipline gets you finished. Today's world is noisier than ever. You wake up to notifications. You eat while scrolling your phone. You walk with headphones in your ears. Your mind never has a second of rest. And then you wonder, why can't I focus? Why do I feel restless, exhausted? The simple answer is, you've never really heard your own mind. So here's what you need: silence in a noisy world. Einstein would take long, solitary walks in the woods. No music, no notebook. Steve Jobs was famous for his silent walks. Steps taken in silence, where ideas flowed like water. They didn't look for inspiration in noise. They found clarity in silence. When you study in silence, no notifications, no multitasking, you feel the difference. 10 minutes of English listening in a quiet space, with full attention, is more powerful than 1 hour while scrolling Facebook. Silence is not boring. It's the laboratory of the mind. When you give your brain some empty space, new ideas appear, focus returns, and you feel lighter, stronger. Habit 5 is this: systems over inspiration. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they live randomly. If I feel like it today, I'll study. If I'm busy tomorrow, I'll skip. I'll wait for the right moment. But here's the truth. Inspiration is not a strategy. Systems are the key. Look at honeybees. They don't hold meetings, don't need pep talks, don't wait until they feel like working. But every day, each bee does its job. Some collect nectar, some build, some guard. And the result? A perfect hive, sustainable, producing sweet honey without chaos. We humans think we're smarter, but in truth, their system is stronger than many companies, many organizations, and even many lives. What is a system? A repeatable plan, simple enough to do even on your worst day. Weak people ask, should I study today? Strong people say, at 7 p.m., I will study for 15 minutes. No debate. Without a system. If I'm free today, I'll watch an English video. With a system, every night before bed, I record 2 English sentences. See the difference? One depends on feelings. The other makes it a non-negotiable habit. Remember, inspiration is a child, systems are adults. Inspiration waits for moods. Systems don't care about moods. Inspiration comes and goes. Systems stay and take you to the finish line. Humans have ruthless curiosity, and that's habit number 6. As a child, you asked, why is the sky blue? What's inside the moon? Why do people cry when they're happy? But then you grew up. School, work, society told you. Stop asking. Just follow the rules. And slowly, you stopped being curious. But geniuses are different. They keep the curiosity of a child. And that's the seed of creativity. Think of Leonardo da Vinci. He wasn't just the painter of the Mona Lisa. He was an engineer, an anatomist, an architect, an inventor. Why? Because he had ruthless curiosity. In his notebooks, people found a strange note. Describe the tongue of a woodpecker. It sounds meaningless. But that question helped him understand shock absorption, leading him to design machines centuries ahead of his time. A tiny question opened a massive door. Ordinary learners ask, how can I memorize faster? Curious learners ask, why does this word exist? Where did it come from? In what situations do natives really use it? Curiosity turns each lesson into a journey, making your brain remember longer and understand deeper. If you practice, do this. Step 1. Write down at least one question each day that surprises you. Example. Why do people say by the way so often in conversations? Step 2. Spend 5 minutes finding an answer. It doesn't have to be complete. Just satisfy the curiosity. Step 3. Occasionally, pick a silly topic and research it deeply for a week. You'll be amazed at how your mind expands. Be honest. Do you want to seek challenge, not comfort? Most people want life easy. No pressure. No problems. No failure. But here's the truth. No one grows in their comfort zone. Every muscle grows through pain. Every skill is forged in challenge. Every strong mind is trained in adversity. Think of the Navy SEALs. They must pass Hell Week. A week of hell. Less than 4 hours of sleep, continuous training in freezing conditions, facing total exhaustion. 90% quit. But the 10% who survive, they don't just make it. They become some of the toughest warriors on Earth. The message is clear. Challenges are not here to destroy you. They exist to strip away weakness and reveal the strength already inside you. Remember, you don't grow in ease. You grow when you step into the places that scare you. And right there, you discover a stronger version of yourself. The next truth is this: persistence beats talent. We often admire born geniuses, people with perfect memory, people who learn incredibly fast. But the truth is, talent doesn't decide success. Persistence does. Think of Thomas Edison. He tried more than 1,000 times before creating a working light bulb. When asked if he felt like a failure, Edison replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that don't work." He wasn't different because he was smarter. He was different because he persisted longer than everyone else. Here's the formula. Talented but quit equals nothing. Average but persistent equals eventually wins. Maybe you don't have a gift for languages, but if you study 20 minutes a day for 1 year, you'll surpass 90% of people who only study when they feel like it. Persistence is your secret advantage. Don't measure yourself by today's speed. Measure yourself by your endurance, because in the end, the persistent outlast the talented. Habit 9 is this. Resilience, bounce back fast. Failure is certain. No one escapes it. The question isn't, will you fail? The question is, how fast do you get back up after failing? Weak people let one fall drag on for years. Strong people fall today, but tomorrow morning they're already back. That is resilience, the ability to bounce back quickly. Kobe Bryant, the basketball legend, once had terrible games, missing shot after shot. But instead of collapsing, the very next day he doubled his training. He turned disappointment into fuel. And that quick recovery made him immortal. You will have days when you study and remember nothing. Days when you listen and still don't understand. Days when you speak and people laugh. But don't let one bad day become a bad week. Don't let a bad week become a lost month. Fail today? Study again tomorrow. Laughed at today? Try again tomorrow. That's how you improve. Habit 10 is this. Live with a bigger purpose. Look around. Many people live without knowing why. They just exist. Go to work, eat, sleep, repeat. But those with true mental strength, they have a bigger purpose. A why that gets them out of bed every morning, even on the hardest days. Remember Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't fight only for himself. He had a dream. I have a dream. A purpose bigger than him. And for that vision, he had the strength to stand tall under pressure, even in the face of death. If you study English only to get a few more points, you will quit easily. But if your goal is bigger, to work internationally, to read original books, to open new doors for your family, then even when tired, you will continue. A bigger purpose gives you sustainable energy. Life is short. If you don't live with a bigger purpose, you'll get lost in small things. But when you have a strong why, you become unshakable. Thank you for following today's episode closely. If you found this useful, please like and share. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next episodes. This is TingTink channel. See you next time.